Hundreds have gathered at Freedom Park to protest against the gang rape of a 6-year-old girl. Commissioner Auradkar today arrived at the venue and spoke to the people, addressing common issues. He also went on to reassure them that security will be provided, and come tomorrow, the police will be meeting with the school management of different schools to go ahead and ensure safety of a child. But even as he addressed the public for a good 20 minutes, even taking questions, it was a very general address. He refused to comment about this particular incident. He even refused to go ahead and say exactly how they will go ahead and nab the culprits, and did not talk about the school's involvement either. And this has led to several people not feeling too happy with the response they received from the commissioner. Yes, he was out there for 20 minutes. He did in fact take a few questions as well, but there were no questions with regards to whether the school will pay for this particular crime. Will in fact Vibgyor High go ahead and pay for trying to hush up such a shocking incident. He did promise, of course, that security will be beefed up across the city, and they will ensure that crimes like this are reduced and that justice is delivered.
They need different kind of training itself. And your training program needs to change.
Well, several issues were addressed, including, of course, the fact that these police officials are not too friendly when it comes to filing complaints, that people, victims, fear going to police stations because they believe that it will be another round of torture. Auradkar said that, yes, they are working on that front. They are trying to train and ensure that the officials are, in fact, better equipped to go ahead and handle such delicate circumstances. Besides which, also, of course, ensuring that they know the law and know that they can in fact pay the price if they do not discharge their duty in the right manner.
The state level, then there is one judge, one justice is
well, it was a lot more peaceful than last time, with several people questioning the commissioner. He was going ahead and answering those questions as well. But Auradkar did fail to come to the core issue with regards to that particular gang rape. He did not promise any action. He said that, yes, justice will be delivered, but that was pretty much it. He did not talk about the issues that have been burning the city for quite some time now, with regards to whether the school will pay the price for going ahead and trying to hush up the issue, whether the founder chairman Rustam Kerawala will be taken into custody. Remember, several people have been demanding for that as well, but none of that being addressed. Auradkar simply stating that, yes, they will try to ensure that better security is provided in schools.
Bangalore is full of modern women. We need different kind of training itself.
I'm not very
and your
sure about the
training
name, but
program needs to change.
I will give you the
They
phone
believe
number
that people
and
who are
name of the judge.
part of the country.
I'll give it to you. Within 2 minutes, I'll give you your suggestion is well taken. We have
And we do understand, of course, that the people weren't too happy with what took place. Yes, Commissioner did come out there. He did speak to the people and reassure them, but several of the protesters gathered out there in Freedom Park believe that what he said was just not enough, that he did not go ahead and address some issues that had to be spoken about, address the concerns that the people had as well. We're joined in by Mrs. Kumar from Lingarajapuram. Mrs. Kumar, if you heard what the commissioner had to say, do you feel assured after he spoke?
See, I've just been listening to what's been happening at Freedom Park, but I want to make a few comments.
Sure.
Number one is, I think rapists have to be dealt with like thieves because they've robbed a person of their dignity. The most severe punishment should be given to them to teach them that their consequences of committing such a heinous crime will not go unnoticed. Number one. Number two is, I think because the judicial system has failed the common man, I really personally feel this. We go to the police station and the police are bribed by the higher-ups or people who are more rich than the person who's gone to complain, and somehow or the other the complaint is diluted. What we need today is, and this is a suggestion, NGOs and social activist organizations that work with victims must be a part of this judicial system so that their voice of protection will be heard and justice will be served at the earliest. We need to stop delaying justice for the victims. The healing process has to start immediately for the victim. And the only way to do it is to be able to get these social organizations to join hands with the judicial system and let their voice be heard for these victims. And number two, what we need to do is secretly report any kind of abuse to NGOs and social activist organizations who have a strong connection with the judicial system. People need to know numbers, telephone numbers need to be put up in public places so that a young person or an old person or anybody who's being sexually abused can go to these phone numbers and dial and get some help immediately.
Right. Mrs. Kumar, going by what you said, of course, with regards to it being so difficult to go ahead and approach the police and file a complaint, Mr. Auradkar addressed that issue. Listening to what he said, do you feel reassured that action will be taken along that front?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. When the police themselves are inefficient today in small police stations, where will a young girl go and find confidence to be able to register her case when she's told to dilute it or when she's told to, somehow hush up the case or something? We don't have faith anymore in the police system. We don't have faith in the judiciary anymore. The common man does not have faith anymore. And the politicians, I don't know what they're doing regarding their policies in the parliament. They need to have at least one politician in every city who will be unbiased, who will take up these cases along with the police and the social organizations and see to it that action is taken to the fullest conclusion. These politicians are not at all committed because nothing has happened to their children. God forbid anything happens to one of their children. I'm telling you, they'll be the first person to get India to move for them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And this is what they need to understand. God forbid it happens to a politician, but sometimes I wonder, it should happen to one of them, then they'll understand. People like Sushma Swaraj, who's a woman in the parliament today, what is she doing? What is she doing? What kind of voice does she have? Look at Modi, who didn't even give a chance to his wife, to divorce her and let her start a new life. He just keeps her as his wife on paper only. What kind of people do we have in the parliament today who have no respect for women at all?
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about women politicians also today. The common man today, the public needs to rise up. They need to stand in front of the parliament today. I don't mind even being part of that procession. And we need to get the parliament to move and make strong policies today that will protect the woman today.
That is definitely the need of the hour, no doubt, Mrs. Kumar. Thank you so much for talking to News 9 and sharing your views with us. Let's quickly take another caller at this point. We've got Robert joining us from Jayanagar. Mr. Robert, if you've listened to what the Commissioner had to say, do you feel reassured? Do you think he addressed the core issues?
Yeah, I would first cover the actual incident and then probably go back to that. I have 3-4 minutes time of your time, ma'am?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yep. What I want to share is my own personal viewpoints, which I think probably will benefit the citizens and the people of the state. One is daily band-aids will not cure cancer. We should stop tactical, short-term symbolism and take time to find lasting solutions. Yes, it is not easy, but it is not impossible either.
Absolutely.
For example, after Carlton Towers and kids repeatedly falling into borewells and the coverage of those and reading of those, what has happened? Zilch, nothing. If an overcrowded school bus or a van meets with an accident, 1 week of vigil, protest, alertness. Is this okay? And after that, it is forgotten till the next incident happens.
Absolutely, yes.
Third, candlelight vigils pollute the environment and waste candles. For God's sake, prevent the event proactively and stop the reactive vigils. This is my point number 1. Can I proceed to point number 2?
Please go ahead.
Strategy and intent without execution is mere hallucination. Government should focus more on dispensing effective and timely and consistent administration of existing laws and rules rather than formulating repeatedly more and newer rules. Each school, college have their own terms and conditions which the parents have to sign.
Yes.
Can this be made common and unified by the government to see effective implementation of the same? The terms and conditions are very one-sided to suit the institution.
Yes.
Can it be changed so that it benefits all parties equally?
Right.
Can these be implemented consistently and dispensed in a timely manner by the government or the Directorate of Public Instruction or whoever the authorities are. I will go to the third point.
Right.
That is, do the right thing even when nobody is watching you. People went to Freedom Park today for a specific cause. How many broke the traffic rules in doing so? How many littered the park with garbage? This happened during Anna's protest. How many people in today's crowd have eve-teased or misbehaved with women earlier? Are citizens following rules and guidelines always? Are they alert before an incident, accident, event to prevent it, or do they wake up to react, complain, finger point, crib, cry, to do a post-mortem after the event has happened? My last point,
Right.
Gandhiji said that be the change you want to see in the world. How many citizens are busy with their selfish lifestyle, causing harm to themselves, fellow citizens, and society in general? How many citizens demand assured and promised services and lodge complaints and take the time to follow it through? How many of them pay bribes and complain later? Media's role is great in this, especially in this event's coverage, because what has happened to the kid cannot be expressed in any terms.
Absolutely.
Can it be compensated either? But can the media also show the potential flaws and weaknesses in the system before an event or accident happens? Coverage should be objective, factual, and timely.
Absolutely.
Last, bullet bikes were zooming to spread the message today. Was it an eco-friendly way? It could be, it could not be. It is a very debatable issue. These are very difficult to judge as they are intertwined symbiotically with one another. So my submission to you and other viewers is, please, wherever you agree with the points, it is fine. Even if you don't agree, it is fine, because everybody's viewpoint is unique and it should be respected. But I think the debate should go to a higher plane on how to solve the foundational flaws or the root cause flaws, rather than trying to address a symptom that happens repeatedly in various ways.
Right. We get your point. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert. Very well put indeed, that it may be more of a societal issue that each one of us can actually do a bit to ensure these kind of incidents do not take place. It's not right to just blame a person and get it done with, go ahead and point to the police and ask them to take action. Maybe each one of us needs to take up responsibility for what has taken place. We'll slip into a short break at this point. More updates from Freedom Park on the other side. Stay tuned.